Hey guys, this is John Hockaday, and today we're kicking off a series of short videos of recent acquisitions that we've had over some just the very last few months and some maybe in the last couple of years. But these are all agents that were ready to be done. They were ready to retire or move on to whatever the next chapter in their life is. And we thought what would be helpful was just to do a little interview with them and get their feedback, like what they're doing now, but more importantly, kind of what their thinking was, what their thought process was as they came up to the stage in their career where they were ready to explore selling their book. If you think even right now that this could be you, this fits your scenario, that yeah, I think this is my last AEP that I'm going to go through. I'm ready to start at least exploring what the next steps might look like. I would really encourage you, and I would really appreciate it if you would give us a call now, and we just kind of start the conversation, because it usually takes a little while, and it can save us and you a lot of time rather than waiting till January or February before we start the conversation. There's zero pressure. I mean, zero. But if you think it's you, call us and let's you and I have a conversation, and then if it does end up that the timing is right for you, we can really hustle and be ready to close on your book right away as soon as we can in 2024. So hope that helps. And I hope you enjoy these. And if you got any questions, just don't hesitate to call us, okay? Okay, this next one is Diane Phillips, and a great agent out of Little Rock, Arkansas. Has a good mix in her business, and really has been a delight to work with. And her customers have been real easy to process over to us just because of the great job that Diane did in taking care of her customers. Hope you enjoy this one.
Off and on all my life, I've kept my foot in the door in the insurance business, both
Okay.
agency, company, underwriter, but it was all property and casualty. And went to work on a part-time basis at an athletic club. It's called the Hayes Center. And I was activities director, a floating activities director. And it's about the time the Medicare Advantage plans came out.
Mm-hmm.
And because I had some insurance background, I was helping get people out of trouble because these busloads of agents were coming in and putting them in the wrong plan. And I was horrified to think that an industry where I'd spent so many years, off and on, probably
Right.
45 years,
Yeah.
and I decided I better find out what was going on. And so I did. And then I realized it was a good thing, but you just had to, not one size fits all.
Sure.
So I just sort of got back in the business in my home. Used to make calls, but it finally got to the point where they like to come over to my house, and they just come to my house, and we did. And that was in the good old days, face to face.
So you got in the Med Advantage business when it came back out, like in 2006, 2007?
Started my certification. 2007 is when I really got back into it.
Neat. Okay. And I don't think you mentioned, but I know you're in Little Rock, Arkansas is where home is. So are
Right.
all your customers pretty much there in Little Rock? Yeah.
Most in Little Rock. I have some in Northwest Arkansas, and a few in the surrounding communities, but not many. And I planned it that way because I didn't want to travel.
Yeah, sure. So how did you come to the place where you thought, you know what, I think I'm ready to be done? Because you and I, we didn't meet, or you didn't reach out to us till I went back in my notes till April, this last April of 23 is when you first reached out to us. So how did you find us? And then also what brought you up to that point where you thought, you know what, I think I better look to see what I could do with this business? And
Well, the first thing is I turned 80. And then the second thing is it for me, I mean, I know it's a small book of business, but it was really it was not a one-man show anymore.
Yeah.
And then it seemed that with all of the compliance and technology, and I represented more than one company, and so everybody has a different way for enrollment, and
Yeah.
it wasn't fun anymore.
Yeah.
But really, the main reason it was time. It was
Yeah.
time.
So when we went through that process, you and I didn't know each other. So we met in April. We kind of started walking through it, come to an agreement of what the purchase would look like. Just kind of describe what that process was like, because it took a few months. We started in April, and it took us till August till we finally got your book closed and got you.
Well, I really I had heard of New Horizons forever. Well, not forever, but since I'd been in the business, I knew you all were around. I was pleased with my FMO, so I never reached out. And I live in North Little Rock, and they were in North Little Rock, and I didn't have to order supplies or do any of that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. And I started about January the 25th. I just Googled how, what do you do with your book of business when you get ready to walk out? And you all were on there, and I listened to a webinar,
Ah.
and I thought, so I contacted you,
Yeah.
and I could not believe that it just went boom. I mean, I know it seems like it didn't, but everybody else I talked to, they did not want. I was still going to have to work for at least another year.
Oh. Mhm.
And that was the big
Yeah.
thing. I
Yeah.
did not want to do that. And so, I mean, your procedure, your process, the professional people with your organization
Thank you. Well,
was, and everything we did for me was just in a timely manner. I mean, I would call someone, and if they weren't available, I mean, somebody would call me back. And
yeah.
I talked to you, I talked to Jeff, y'all talked to me when you were on the road. And Shannon Weaver was wonderful.
Yeah.
Jenny Dunker. I mean, and then I didn't have to do a whole lot of work for you all to look at the customer list.
Yeah.
All I had to do was furnish my passwords, my username and password. Y'all, you did all the work.
I know,
So
man.
that I loved that.
Yeah. I'm just curious. I don't think I ever asked you this, but when you were kind of doing your research, did anybody else value your book before we did? Did you get that far with anybody else?
No.
Nobody else gave you a price?
Nobody gave me a real, they didn't do any valuation. They were just, I was just exploring.
Yeah.
And I mean, I have to say that everyone I talked with wanted the book of business, but
Sure.
we never got down to I just kind of gave them an overview of how many customers I had with each company and what kind. And we just kind of did that by numbers verbally. But no one did that. Now, maybe I didn't. I mean, I'm sure there are people out there who do that, but I just was surprised. I thought, oh my goodness. So they might want it, and I don't have to do all this work, and they're going to put a value on it. I mean,
I don't remember exactly how many customers you had, but it takes when you've taken 15 or 16 or 17 years to build a book of business like you did, and you've got a great relationship with those customers, it takes a lot of time.
It takes a lot of time.
And so when a person is ready to be done and they don't have any kind of a plan, and where we can step in and give them the best value that we can for that book, and then inherit those customers and that trust and that friendship that you've built, I mean, it's invaluable. So we love doing it, and we love coming back to talk to you just to see kind of what your thoughts are. And it's really a pleasure. Really enjoyed working together with you. You've been a delight. So we'll stay in touch. I Shannon will, and the other gals here too. But thanks for doing this with us.
I'm happy to.
All right.
Okay. See you later. Bye.
See you now.